Question 19. According to the passage, computers A have limited value in diagnosing Alzheimer's disease. That's the answer. Let me show you where it's found. Basically, for this question, is in a specific place, paragraph 2. The only place in this reading about computers is CAT scans, also known as computer-assisted tomography, and in this paragraph, the key point is that CAT scans cannot definitively detect Alzheimer's disease, especially early on. CAT scans could detect some symptoms later on in the progression of the disease, and however, those symptoms can be confused with those of other disorders that mimic Alzheimer's disease. So therefore, according to this paragraph, CAT scans are not really that good, providing a definitive diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. So CAT scans, which is which huge part of this technology, or part of this technology, is computers, and therefore A would be the answer, because CAT scans are not that great. So they are not that great in diagnosing Alzheimer's disease, or they have limited value. That's another way of saying this. They have limited value in diagnosing that Alzheimer's disease. So although we know that this is most likely the answer, again, let's make sure we rule out the other answers. So let's look at choice B. Computers, as in computers and CAT scans, are essential to physicians working with Alzheimer's patients. So this statement is directly opposite to what we've just read in paragraph 2, where it says CAT scans are not that great, are not that good, because they don't definitely detect Alzheimer's disease. So that choice is wrong, because according to the passage, because it's not essential. That paragraph tells us that because it's not a good tool, then it's not essential. Therefore, B would be incorrect. Choice C tells us that computers or CAT scans help doctors make definitive diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. And this too is directly opposite to what paragraph 2 tells us. CAT scans or computer-assisted tomography does not definitively detect Alzheimer's disease. So that choice would be incorrect. And now choice D, computers, or as in CAT scans, are useful in tracing the progress of Alzheimer's disease in individual patients. So now let's look back at this paragraph that mentions computer or computer-assisted tomography, CAT scans. So specifically, well, first of all, again, this paragraph is about CAT scans not being able to definitively detect Alzheimer's disease in a living patient. And here, an Alzheimer's CAT scan performed in the early stages of the disease cannot itself be used to make a definitive diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. So specifically, in the early stages, it cannot. Especially in the early stages, the CAT scans are not that good in making a definitive diagnosis. So let's look back at the answer choice here. D, is it useful in tracing the progress? Well, if it doesn't definitively show the disease in the early stage, so that alludes to the progress, right, the early stage, um, then it cannot be good in tracing the progress of Alzheimer's disease. So if the CAT scan cannot detect the disease, especially in the early stage, and then yeah, then it cannot trace the progress. And also, it's not even that great in the later stage because CAT scans, they pick up symptoms that are similar or the same with other diseases. So they're not even that great, even in the later stages. So therefore, it's not useful in tracing the progress of Alzheimer's disease in living individual patients, and so we could rule this one out. And the choice that we chose early on, A, now we are certain that that's the answer. CAT scans have limited value in diagnosing Alzheimer's disease.